Welcome back to another episode of Pewology. This is a show where the people in the pews get to weigh in on a whole bunch of things. Sometimes they're political, sometimes they're racial, sometimes they're spiritual, sometimes they're moral. Sometimes they're not moral.
Immoral.
Sometimes they're immoral. Okay, so I got an interesting one for you. I got the guys together today, and I've got an interesting discussion topic. I would like to know, this is a tough one. I want you to really think about this. I would like to know where you draw the line, if anywhere, and I'm not even sure how to ask this, but where you draw the line when it comes to defending or protecting the honor of your spouse. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is this. We live in a real world, right? I think all of us as men are like, oh, yeah, there's not a line I would protect her no matter what. Okay, yeah, we get it, right? I'm more interested in, like, for example, let's say that someone verbally insulted your spouse in front of you. What is the proportional response that is appropriate?
World star.
I don't know, I think you could tie it back to, you meet fire with fire. Like I'm not taking a gun to a knife fight, I guess.
Okay.
So, just kind of gauge the situation.
Have you ever had your wife offended in front of you?
No.
No one's ever spoken. No one's ever been like crossed a line. Did something.
Tell the cruise
maybe
story.
What happened? What happened? Tell it.
Yeah.
Okay, tell the story.
He could tell the story because he's the one who took action. I was too dumbfounded by the moment.
We used to go. Okay, so we used to go on a couple's cruise, right?
Okay.
And at the time, I was obviously, I drank and it was an active addiction, but I wasn't really a big drinker. So whenever we went on the cruises, we'd all go and everybody would get super smashed. And I kind of always be, I'm from the hood. So I kind of I'm always looking for problems, especially when people are drinking.
Okay.
So we went out and we were on a cruise. Everybody's having a good time. And it happens to me. It's happened multiple cruises with multiple situations. But in this particular situation, they're wasted. I'm a little buzzed. And there was, I think he was was he a crew member?
Yeah, he was one of the servers.
And I think.
And took a hit?
I think he did a couple shots too because he was wasted.
Okay.
Everybody's partying here.
Right.
It's a booze cruise.
Okay.
And.
Are you at like a club? Are you at like
we were at breakfast.
Yeah.
You're at breakfast?
We're like on a.
You're drunk at breakfast?
It's like a brunch.
I don't recall being drunk. I definitely was drunk on that cruise. But in this moment, I don't think I was.
We were drinking because he was bombed. And it was
Who's bombed at breakfast?
It was brunch. I don't think it was that early. It was more like 2:00 time. But
2:00 breakfast? This story has so many holes in it
no
already.
Breakfast.
Yeah, it's not
take
airtight
over.
right now.
Okay, so forget the food. All I know is he was bombed.
Okay.
He looked.
All right, we're gonna go with that.
And
who?
The guy from he was he wasn't normal. He was
he's a little off.
Whatever,
He's a little off.
Anyway. So he's making the passes at his wife.
He's making passes?
Yeah,
he's Jen? What's a pass?
Like, I don't know,
So this is very.
How do you remember this?
It's at this point, it's very inaccurate.
Okay.
So I can't really defend the accuracy.
Again, that's why I said I was an active addiction. I don't know much.
I can't really defend the exact accuracy of it, but he definitely wasn't bombed. He wasn't drunk because he was these guys, they work for pennies on a dollar. They can't.
They can't be blitzed.
No.
Maybe he had a drink.
Maybe I was bombed.
That's more likely.
That's more likely. Okay,
that's more likely.
Okay.
But again, I don't remember the details, but I do remember the actual gist of it was he touched Jen's face.
Yeah.
And in a very he didn't caress her, he didn't hit her, he didn't bump her. He was making a joke or something, and he kind of just touched her cheek or whatever. And I watched it, and he was reactive way faster than I was because I was still what is happening here?
And
Wait a minute. Okay, so hold on. So he's like talking to her and he touched her face?
Well, he was like bringing us either clearing our table or bringing us something.
And he
or-
reached over and
drinks.
touched your wife.
It wasn't just completely random. Oh,
No.
hey, there's a person. Let me touch her. It was
Right.
like in context of
Yeah.
whatever we were
like
talking
some sort
about,
of
joking
interaction.
around.
Some sort of interaction.
He was hovering around her.
Yeah, I mean, there was conversation of some sort. There was interaction.
Did she
And
react? Did you notice that she reacted?
I mean, no, she didn't like freak out or anything. I mean, she was probably just as surprised by
She was
everybody
surprised,
by
but she
it.
probably felt like some sense of security because all you guys were there.
Yeah, no,
So
there's
she didn't
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I'm.
It
feeling
was.
very
It's
vulnerable,
like
but
it's like it was creepy encounter, but
like
until
if the guy
touch-
walked away from the table, she would have said that was a little weird.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
But then once the touching happened, it changed. The
so you
whole vibe.
you jumped in there.
I jumped in. Like,
What'd you do?
I jumped in. Like,
What'd you say?
I don't know.
He,
Again.
he didn't like fight him or push
Yeah.
him or anything
Yeah.
physical, but it was something along the lines of, what are you doing? Like, you don't
Yeah, like
do
I
that.
got
Like,
right
he just
in front of him
you know,
and
he-
was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Excuse me. What are you? What the f are you doing?
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm like
But you said like
I'm like a
so
puffer
Did you
fish.
pull
I
him
just-
aside?
No.
No,
It
no,
was,
right there,
it was
right
You
like
did it in front of everybody.
I
You
do it on the
outed him in
spot.
front of
I do it
everybody.
on the
Yeah.
spot.
And you were like, "Hey, man."
Yeah, this is what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? And I kind of remember there was.
How
a
did he
lot of
react?
barrels.
How did he react?
I mean, he was like half my size, so he was like.
yeah, no, I think he was taken aback by it because I don't truly believe he meant anything by it.
Did you try to calm him down, or did
No.
you let him go? You just let him go.
Yeah.
You were like,
It
"Yeah,
happened
let
really
let-"
fast.
He was like, "Yeah, that's a little weird." Have
Yeah,
that.
it's like I didn't come out the gate. You did. Go for it. I mean, you know.
But later, okay, so you get back to the cabin at some point. What's the conversation like with Jen when you get back to the
Oh,
cabin?
no, there wasn't. It
You
wasn't.
didn't talk about it at all.
No, it wasn't profound enough to be.
It
like-
wasn't profound enough. This guy like stepped in
No,
and said, "Hey,
I
listen,
think
you
we
touched
just
this."
discussed it in the moment. Like that
Yeah,
was
it
really
was like-
odd, and
Oh,
thank you
okay.
for stepping up.
because again, it wasn't like very egregious, very like. I
It
mean,
was enough
the
to be
fact that he
weird, but
touched
not
her
enough to
was
be-
the
She
She
line.
might have said, "Where were you at?"
Actually, I wanted to know that. I wanted to know if she was like, "Hey."
Now his story gets.
No, I mean,
She did.
No.
She did. She didn't care. She did. But she didn't think he overreacted.
the fact that like I didn't even remember that story until I mean this guy's a vault. He'll remember everything and
every
anything.
story, yeah.
So that's why he remembered it. But it wasn't significant enough for or if you ask Jen, I don't think she would remember it. Like
Oh, okay.
to tell the story. I mean,
Okay.
she after we talked about, oh yeah, that happened, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't have been something that's ingrained in her. Like, oh my god, remember?
Have you
that
ever
time?
had another incident where you felt like you had to step in?
I think no. I mean, I'm sure there are, but I can't remember them at the top of my head. Like I know I can remember when we were dating and we were at a club and there was a fight that like broke out and I immediately like grabbed her, pushed her against the wall and shielded her.
Yeah.
But that wasn't somebody.
That's not the
Directed
same
at
thing as
her.
somebody offending her. Yeah, yeah.
No,
yeah.
no.
How about you? You ever had to like be like, "Hey, man."
My favorite part's watching her because she'll
She'll go
go
off.
off.
She'll go off. She doesn't mean she does.
She will.
You're like,
step
don't
in if I
piss her
have to,
off.
but yep,
Do not piss this
exactly.
woman off.
She defends him. She's like, "No, you're right."
You tell me Sam wouldn't hold her own too? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
So, but what? Okay, imagine it for me. Someone does something or says something that puts you in a position where, like, it's like, okay, this cannot slide, right? We're gonna have to have an altercation here. Have you thought that through? Like, have you thought through like what you're willing to? Because I guess the reason I'm asking is we live in a real world. I know a guy who did some time over what some would call an overreaction to someone that he thought was disrespecting his spouse. You know what I'm saying?
What do you do?
He beat him.
What did he do to the spouse? What did the guy do? Was it a friend? Was it a
No.
random person?
It was a random public situation. You know what I'm saying? I think he grabbed her butt. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah, he's
something
getting
like
a
that.
beating.
Yeah.
But I'm asking a serious question. Everybody says yeah, but would you be willing to do time for it?
Yeah,
Because this could change your life.
Yeah.
It can completely change your life. It could completely change your financial picture. It could change your future. It could change your retirement plans. It could change everything.
yeah.
For me, I don't think I'm not saying that I'm immune to potentially doing time or having
Yeah.
bad consequence, but I think I am not that loose of a cannon where I would just completely go
Fly
off on
off
the
the
yeah, like where I'm beating this guy to
He
where
is, though.
I think
know.
so.
He is.
No, you're
I've
wrong.
gotten kicked out of poker games.
Yeah.
See, I like what you said. I
He
matched.
got kicked out of my birthday.
You got kicked out of your birthday?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
what?
For reacting.
What did you do?
No, see, I don't want to tell the
Okay,
story.
why did-
but I'll
oh,
tell
You
it.
want to tell his
I'm
story?
gonna
Is
say
this the
yeah,
thing with
yeah.
Carlos?
Yeah.
I wasn't
Oh,
gonna
my God.
disclose
So
identities here,
so
but
hold
you
on.
know, yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not oblivious to don't insult my intelligence. So he's really bombed. He's out of it, and I give him that. And he was, when people like this morning, he came and hugged me. He was like, and I was like, oh, easy, fella, like so. The whole night he's like jabbing at me, and I'm like, yo, chill out. And I get he's drunk. And I guess at one point I was like, don't chill out. Stop. I had warned him a couple times. It wasn't like it just happened out of thin air. It doesn't happen like that. So I was like, stop touching me. And in one incident, I remember I had khaki shorts and, they're riding up.
Yeah.
My wife likes to buy the real short ones. So I got my thigh exposed and he goes like this.
Don't show.
Boom. I'm not going to show you. Yeah, don't show. Yeah. And bam. And I'm like, bro, it hurt. Like he hit me with all his might. And he's like, mosquito. And I was like, I just, you know what happens.
You got up in his face?
I got up.
No, but hold on.
And then, but then
how did you
Wendy,
get kicked out? You kicked him out?
So,
hold on.
you told him he had to
Wendy-
go?
Wendy, no,
Yeah.
it was more like this. So I got up, like, yo, what the, I told you, like, that physical is my reaction, my fight or flight. And when I got up, he's looking at me like this. And then Wendy got in my face. And she was like, how you going to do this with friends? I said, he fucking slapped me, but, and then it became an issue and everybody calmed down.
What
And
did
then-
Sam do?
Huh? Well, again,
didn't she get in like confront Wendy?
like they
or step up?
They,
No, but
they-
there was okay. So let's just
Go.
let's just no.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's just be completely transparent here. There was no striking. No, there was no blows. There was
No.
nothing further than that. But I do believe like Sam stood up and
yeah, we all stand up for our
Yeah.
people when things happen. It's the
Yeah, but
normal thing to do.
What do you're the host.
It was his
so
birthday.
okay.
So it falls on you to referee
Break
this
it up,
thing?
yeah.
very very
Were you there?
no
Oh God.
very small context.
And I didn't get kicked out. I walked out.
No, well, yeah, that's
And you were all like upset and crying, and everybody's like, and I felt bad.
that's not accurate.
That's accurate.
No, that's not accurate.
That's accurate. I cried after the next day because I apologized because I had to be the bigger person because it created a rift.
Okay.
You know what
But
I
what
mean?
I'm saying is, how did you like?
So not because I'm above crying, but that didn't happen.
Not crying like,
Yeah.
No, I was like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Like, it was like one of those things
Because
where
it's like my birthday. It's my freaking
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah.
And you guys are in here ruining it.
Well,
And I'm like, say something to Carlos.
it was
that's why
like
I felt
like the record, like the screech, because we were having a good time. And again, it's very minor.
my thigh wasn't having a good time.
Your thigh probably barely felt it, to be honest.
No, I felt.
But anyway, so again, minor context here was that in that time, it was a very broken relationship with my family, and it was it might have been my 30th birthday. I don't know if it was. I don't really think it matters actually if it was a significant birthday or not. But it was it was a birthday
brought the cake.
during a time that it was a very broken relationship with my family,
Right.
and that group of people.
Felt like your family.
That was my
Yeah.
that was my unit. That was those were my people.
And now you felt like
boy,
that-
were we wrong?
and then they're all falling apart. So you get your family that's falling apart, them falling apart. So that can be upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so, it happened. And it was just like, it was a good time. And then it just screeching halt. And then it was like one of those things where you're in the club, lights turn on, everybody's got to go. Like,
So how long did it take
I
for
ruined
everybody's
it. I
out of
ruined
there?
it.
it was pretty quick. And then it was
the
pretty
worst.
quick.
Yeah.
And then, I think they left because I can recall being in the garage talking it through with Carlos and actually TJ. And then actually, alcohol kind of took over, and those two almost got into it because
TJ and Carlos too?
yeah.
You guys cannot handle your booze very
Enough
well.
said.
Huh? Gee, mini Chris.
But I will say, because I made amends to everybody, and that's before I was in recovery. But I really took the fall. I mean, I know I overreacted. Kind of like what happened at Paulie's. Ultimately, see, the thing is, like people like to Pearl Harbor me,
Yeah.
and then I Hiroshima them,
Yeah.
and then I'm the bad guy. That's really how it goes
Yeah,
down.
we call that proportional response.
Yeah, well, I
You had no proportional
well,
response.
the thing is, in most fights, you draw a line, you cross it. They draw a line, you cross it. You draw the line, you cross it. I bring you all the way back over there,
Yeah.
and then it's like, whoa! And that's
They
just,
fire a gun, you fire a nuke.
I fire nuke. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how I'm built.
All right.
And I'm wrong for that. So I did apologize.
So like, okay, so everybody leaves, right? They leave. Now it's your birthday. It's 11 o'clock at night or whatever. Everybody's gone. You're sitting there with Jen. What do you say? Like, these sons of...
Yeah, like what in the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Like what is
How old are you now?
42?
So that's
Is she
that's
trying
about-
to
it's about-
console
listen,
you?
this
Is she
about
trying to
12
console you at all?
this
She
is-
understands like this is a tough moment?
No, I mean, it wasn't. It was the moment was an extreme bummer, but it didn't carry over. It was like not like I was, you know, in
They don't dwell on it. They work it out and move forward. But
No,
look,
it
12 years, and the only two couples still stand.
we
Right? Where's
survived.
everybody
We
at?
survived the wave.
Survive the wave. So
I actually met them through Carlos originally.
Did you?
Yep.
That's funny.
When we first moved here.
That is funny. Holy crap. All right, so back to the topic. If you know that the very act of intervening could mean significant consequences, do you still do it?
yeah.
Yeah? God, you guys are so definite. I'm like,
If Bill Cosby's out on the street, I'll be out too.
So again, for me, I'm a very quick thinker. So I
Okay.
do evaluate what my response is going to be, but there's going to be a response.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
okay.
I
Depending
can.
on the situation, there's got to be a response.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's more diplomatic response.
But I'm always looking for, I'm just telling you my opinion, right? And I sound like a weenie, but I'm just telling you, I'm always looking for a way to de-escalate and diffuse. If there's a way.
That's the right way.
And because this is the way I think. I think all these kids survive off of me, right?
That's exactly what
And
I'm
if I
saying.
go to jail,
Yeah, I'm the major
What happens
breadwinner in
then?
our house, and
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
if that went to shit,
Yeah, what happens?
Yeah.
What happens? That's how I think all the time. I'm like, don't screw up, don't screw up. These
yeah.
people need you. You know what I mean?
My reaction in those instances is I don't foresee myself and I don't envision me ever striking somebody for words. You know what I'm saying? If you offend me, my
Yeah.
wife, my family with words, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
words. No.
I'm not going
not
to
gonna
start a
be
physical.
No, 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 no.
altercation.
No,
We're
but my
talking
words that
about-
coming back will
Right.
most likely feel physical because I.
You may get up in somebody's grill, but you're not crossing that line unless
No.
there's something else.
No, yeah. Again, physical. Like unless there's a physical
somebody touches
altercation of some
somebody,
sort.
It all bets are off. Once somebody puts their
if it
hands
doesn't
on
get
you-
de-escalated,
Yeah.
then there are repercussions.
Yeah, like I get talked to because I talk crap, so I get talked to crap all the time. Like that poker incident, I only puffed up and jumped out because they were like, "Let's fight," and then they grabbed me. And once somebody touches me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I was abused as a child, so any physical touch that's my go to hell, fight or flight, Tasmanian devil. Like once, you know, I could talk, but
Do you worry about like, okay, take out the legal and potential like societal consequences, right? And go just inside the marriage. Do you have you ever worried about like, if I don't respond enough here, I'm going to hear it from her? Like she's going to be like, "Hey," or do you not worry about that at all?
Not for me.
Or on
I
or
said-
the opposite side, do you worry that like if you responded, she's going to be like, "That was too much. What are you doing?"
Also,
I've
not
had
for
that
me.
happen.
You had that happen?
Absolutely.
That you was too much.
It was too much.
What? Oh, what the frick happened?
It was a family
Okay.
incident with Jen's family, and at this time there was a broken relationship with my father-in-law and one of his kids, so a step sibling for Jen, and it was just it was a family text message, and my father-in-law sent a happy Thanksgiving, I think it was, or it was a holiday, whatever
Okay.
it was, happy or merry, whatever, and everybody's going back and forth, this, that, and the other, and his son, my in-law, was like, take me off of this thread, like I don't want to have anything to do with this. My immediate response was like, what is wrong with you? You're like, this your dad? It was your dad? Like,
Yeah.
you are such an effed up individual, is what I said.
Oh wow! So
And
you laid into him,
I
and
just
she thought it was
in the
too
group,
much.
in the group,
it was in writing, so they
In
can
the
go
group.
back and like
Yeah, they go back and
it
look
was in
at
the
it.
text, like
Yeah. and she thought it was too much.
she absolutely like as soon as like because we were in the house together, obviously.
And you hit send, and
I hit-
she was like, what
I didn't
the
even
hell?
like it wasn't. She was like in another room, and we were in the same house. But like as soon
She
as I
came looking
sent
for
it, it was like a beeline. Like, and she screamed at me, like, "What are you doing? Why did you do that?" I'm like, like I didn't.
now you could delete it. Now with the new iPhone app, you can delete it.
Okay, but looking back, Looking back, you think you were wrong? Because I don't think you're wrong.
No, I don't think I was right.
I knew you didn't.
I don't think no, but not because of my protective nature.
Right.
That's if I said I was wrong, that would be talking against to what I believe in.
You felt like he had overstepped with his dad, and he should have respect for the elder. On that.
Again, some context is in that time I had recently lost my first brother that died, and so you know, for those that don't know, my dad died when I was very young, and so it was like. It was like one of those things. Like, this is your family. Like, why would
for granted? Yeah,
Absolutely.
you were like, this is disrespectful.
That was my driving. That was my driving.
People are so entitled sometimes.
I guess. Yeah.
And so you really how'd you mend it with her?
I immediately picked up the phone and called him
and said, "Hey, man,
I apologized." And he responded.
That's a man thing.
He responded with some like pretty like.
He got
low blow type stuff. And I was like, I didn't even consider that. I saw her reaction, and then I kind of really processed the implications
of how the family would react.
How it would, you know, and I was like, obviously they're family. We're going to see each other. This is not going to go away.
But you picked up the phone immediately. How much time?
Maybe a minute.
Wow.
Like it was immediate. It was
that's
immediate.
Good.
It was immediate.
I got to tell you, I'm prideful on some of those things, and sometimes I'll pout for a while. You know, that's pretty humble to go, okay, I just screwed up. Let me call.
Well, not only that,
with the chancleta.
What'd she say? What'd she say?
Worry about your relationship.
What did he say? I'm sorry. What did he say when he called him?
He was kind of short. Like
But you said, hey, man.
I literally said, hey, listen, I crossed the line there. I just want you to know that I think this is like the relationship friction is ridiculous. Like, this is your dad, but you know what? That's not for me to impose upon you.
Yeah.
But
and I'm
you
sorry.
know, and to give, and I told him, I was like, you know, my brother just died or whatever. Like I took a little personal.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. That's a bold, good for you. That's a bold thing to say.
I mean, I was wrong, but I don't regret it.
I know what you mean. Like you can be right and still execute it the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's me. I was wrong, but I don't regret what I did because I did it. You can't take it back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, like, I always think back, like, that situation, I would 100% react the same way. Once the physical line, like, with verbal stuff, there's times where I'm like, man, I kind of react. I would take it back if I could. But whenever it comes to the physical, like you said, I have to stand on what I
But you
believe.
don't think part of the thing with you is that once he saw he was getting a rise out of you, he kept doing it?
And you can get a rise out of me all you want verbally, but, you don't invade somebody's space.
But that is a pretty distinct line. Like, yeah, I mean, you could poke fun and whatever,
Yeah,
but like,
you can say whatever. Once you touch me, I mean, I've been at the poker game for many times. The guys talk, oh my God, they said worse things. People at church have said worse things to me about my personal life, right? Yeah. And I could take that with a grain of salt. I could be hurt about it and walk away and be like, that hurt. But when it becomes physical, whether he's trying to get a rise out of me, there's a line. Like, if you go like this, I can let things slide. But when it becomes like either physical towards me, like that hurt, like like it just, I just lose it. Or when I see somebody like my wife or my daughter, my kids, get, when I see that, that's my job to protect and defend, whatever cost. Right? Because I have to show like you said, God entrusted us with these people in our lives, not by chance. So it's my job to show them that no matter what they go through in life, I'm going to protect.
You ever you ever felt like you went overboard and she had to calm you down? She had to say, hey, you're pretty reserved on that kind of stuff?
I'm pretty reserved.
You think she's more apt to go overboard than you?
Yes.
You've had to be like, hey, babe.
Yes.
Take it down a notch. Take it down a notch.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
What about who's more apt to go overboard on your side?
Me.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
But I think it's important to also take into consideration what I do for a living and how long I've done it. So I've had a lot of exposure to de-escalation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like you're actually trained. Part of your role
and
is to de-escalate in every situation.
It's fairly comfortable saying I do it every single day at work, right?
Yeah. I need to take that course.
Conflict management, de-escalation. Yeah, everything from like how you talk to how you approach it, eye contact, body posture, the whole thing.
Yeah, and then many times it'll transfer to physical. Like
right. Even when I get physical, it's a certain way. It's control.
Well, in the workplace, it has to be because there's certain things I can and cannot do. But I mean,
you can't beat him with a chair or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that side of it too. I've taken leadership classes and all this in management, so you learn to de-escalate without emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. Get emotionless and just kind of like, I can only think of one time. I was in a parking garage one time, right? And it was at the arena, at the, what do they call it now?
The Kia Center.
Kia Center?
Amway? It's the Kia
It's the
Center?
Kia Center. Yeah, it went from Amway to Kia. It's a Kia
We're at the
Center.
Kia Center?
It's the
Yep.
Kia Center.
Oh, that is garbage.
Yeah.
We're the Kia Center?
And they have a Kia like suspended like on a platform in one of the
You know, we
like,
get the lowest budget car on the
Yeah.
planet as the, oh,
Timu. They're gonna call it Timu Center next year.
oh my, yeah, team.
The Timu Center. We need that.
Okay, well, I was at the Kia Center, Jiminy Christmas, and I'm parking the car and like the one that's across the street, and for whatever reason at that time we were like the only ones on that floor. I don't know if we were, but we felt like we were. And there's this one guy that was just acting really weird, and we're about to get on this up. When we get on the elevator, he like makes a beeline for that to get on the elevator with us, and I was like, I just knew in my gut, I'm like, okay, this is going to be bad. I can just tell this is going to be bad. Do you know what I'm saying? And I remember like literally having my keys in it where my key was. I was like, I'm going to have to stab this dude in the eye right now. We're going to fight to the death in this elevator. And like we only went down one floor and it opened up and like 5-6 people got on. And whatever he was doing, he just calmed down and got pushed over to the other side. And I was like, thank God I don't have to fight this dude in this elevator. It was like so weird.
What was he just looking at? You?
He was like, yeah, he was all like, you could just tell he was like cracked.
Birdman hands?
Yeah, and he was like, I'm about
like,
to try to
easy-
rob
I'm
these
about
people. And I was
easy
like,
target.
oh God. I'd moved her over to my right. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Did you have your muscle with you?
dude, at the time I'm like,
Ethan.
he didn't look, yeah, I didn't have my muscle. He didn't look like he looked cracked out. He looked
Yeah.
kind of homeless, like cracked out. So I was like, I can probably take it, but this is not going to be easy in this freaking 10 by 10 or whatever we're in this elevator. I'm like, this is going to be a mess. And she's in here. Do you know what I'm saying? It was just that moment where like, this is it. This is how this stuff goes down.
Were you debating like, do I use her as a shield?
But I think even in that situation, if he would have done so, I think I would have tried to diffuse it. I would have been like, okay, calm down. You know what I'm saying? I would have tried to. I don't want to have any altercation
Here's my
that
wallet. Calm
leads to putting my family in jeopardy if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I think a lot of times guys look at that as like almost like a weenie thing, but I'm like, dude, I think the long term before the short term most of the time. You know what I mean? Like I just default to that. I'm like, bro, 2 months and my kids are homeless, so like I don't know what we're doing here. Like I got to be smart. You know what I'm saying? I think of
but
that when
Florida-
I think of
but
that when it
Florida
comes to
has-
alcohol consumption. I think of that when it comes to like even choices here at the church. Like a lot of times I'll think, okay, you got to make a right decision here because you know.
But Florida has a self-defense law.
I know. I'm just saying.
I mean-
but here's the problem. Think about this. You
all day.
seen this case with this guy in the subway in New York?
Yeah.
Like he won that case,
Yep.
but it took him 2 years.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he's financially ruined. Do you know what I'm saying? He had to defend himself for 2 years in court. I mean, like maybe now because it was so public, he can do a freaking GoFundMe or whatever and get some of that back. But dude, that guy, I guarantee you, went bankrupt.
$500,000, yeah, he's
defended himself. That's what they say about everybody that ever uses a gun. Even if you use it for the right purpose, you'll go bankrupt defending yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just the world we live in. You know what I mean? So I think that. I'm like, I tell that to Ethan all the time because he's big on guns. You know, he's 25 and they're all like, they don't think about the future. I'm like, dude, you fire that gun, even if it's for the right reason, you will, it'll change your life forever. Do you know what I'm saying?
Ripple effect. Yeah.
So I'm like, you better be sure this is your last possible option before you fire that gun.
I get that.
He's like, oh, I know, Dad. I'm like, I don't think you do. You know what I mean?
The problem is I live by FAFO.
Here we go.
You know what that is?
No.
You don't know?
Yeah,
you
F
know?
around, find
He
out.
knows.
Okay.
He knows. Look it up. FAFO.
This guy.
F around and find out.
I just don't know. Anybody ever been worried though that like anybody ever felt in their relationship like almost a little bit of judgment, a little bit of disdain from your spouse that you haven't been they almost wanted you to not be the de-escalator. They wanted you to escalate it.
Not me.
No? Never felt that pressure?
No.
Absolutely not.
No?
Jen is not. she's not a confrontational person, so she wouldn't, you know.
That's good. Because I've had that, not in recent relationship, but a long time ago, I had that where it was like I was dating a person that wanted like constant reassurance, and that was one of the ways. Like, did you see how they slighted me? You didn't say anything, and I was like, "What is happening?" You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I was like, it would never be something that I would do, and so then it was always like this point of judgment and contention in the relationship where it was like I wasn't man enough, and I was like, okay, whatever. Guess I'm not man enough.
Actually, talking through this, it brings many actually just flooding memories of times where she's literally has told me something and said, "This is not for you to defend me. This is not for you to do something or say something."
Okay, so she's telling you something, and she's prefacing it with, "Don't you act on this." Right. Okay, oh, that's pretty good. You ever? Has she ever told you something where you were like, I don't know, I might have to act on this? Yeah. Where she's like, that's enough to piss me off right there. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think to myself, you get into your 40s and the way you start thinking about life and just trying to finish the race is a different mindset than when you were in your 20s. Do you know what I'm saying? Like every day you approach the day with a completely different worldview. You know what I mean?
Get wiser.
Yeah, you get more thoughtful, you get more long-term thinking, you've amassed things that you
can't
have.
wait to get there.
I can't wait to get there.
Yeah. But I'm saying you amass things that you have. Think about it, like in your 20s, you don't have anything to lose. Typically, you don't have anything to lose. You know what I'm saying? All you have is yourself. You know, so it's like the risk reward thing is, you know, you can just risk it all. There's nothing to lose. You get in your 40s, you're like, I've got everything to lose. I've worked hard to get to this point. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like, I don't want to do this, right? When you had to calm her down, how long does it take to calm her down? What do you got to do?
I mean, it's not too bad, really.
Do you
just tell her to get in the
talk
car?
Her down? You can talk her down, or do you have to kind of like get stern with her?
No, just talk her mostly.
Just talk her, yeah. Like,
How long you guys been together?
We've been married 25 years.
Dang, that's a run, baby. That is a run.
Congratulations.
God
That's pretty
bless
awesome.
you. That's good. What are you in for?
Almost 18 now.
18.
Married 13, together 16.
Wow, that's a pretty good run, you guys.
Yeah, we were together 2.5 years before that.
So almost 30 years.
Yeah, 28.
28 years you guys got under the belt. That's
Yeah, rounding up at this point. Yeah, 30.
Yeah, man. That's pretty good.
And we're both, I like to think, not really confrontational,
Yeah.
but she gets her beer muscles once in a while.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Is she more
Talk her
that?
down.
Is she more that way as a parent too with the kids? She's more. She can get more animated. More.
No.
Oh, you
I'm
are.
more- yeah.
Yeah, you are. Because that's right. I was remembering as you're saying that because I've seen you at the wrestling events and stuff get pretty wound up with those with the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, fired up, ready to roll.
Yes. It's rough sometimes at the house because they're older and they get a little mouthier.
Yeah, yeah. And so is she more the like the loving, nurturing one, and you're a little bit more of the hard ass with the kids? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's good. How about you?
I think we have actually a pretty healthy mixture. Even though I'm more stern, I guess you
Toe
could
the
say.
line.
Yeah.
But we do kind of share that responsibility because there's sometimes where she's, you know, has to talk me off the ledge, and there's sometimes where I'm like, hey, listen, the way that you spoke, like maybe you don't realize it, but your tone
Was a
like,
little
it just
much.
Not
Yeah.
you know, good.
Yeah. But they have a pretty good relationship.
Oh, I have an amazing relationship. Yeah.
But every now and then you're like, okay, that came across harsh. Yeah. What about? Oh, I think we know.
You
What
know.
are we asking?
I don't. I'm the lenient that. Like last night, right? The baby was coughing. He couldn't sleep, and he had us up all night. And my wife, delirious of sleep, I could hear her like, "Stop it!" Like, and I could see like she's maybe 5 minutes away from strangling this kid, like Bart Simpson, like Homer did to Bart. Like I could tell she's had enough. So I'm like, I got up and I said, "Come on, buddy, let's go downstairs." And I got him some apple juice, a grape. I gave him a little vitamin gummy, you know, just chill him out. But I'm not
Melatonin.
I'm not the
Benadryl.
one, like, even when I discipline my kids, like immediately I'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then it's like, you know. But
Yeah.
Sam, she's like
Yeah.
with that.
She can be a.
Oh yeah.
She can be a harm.
Nuts.
She's
Well, I
she's
don't know.
very quick to defend the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's quick to defend them,
Hmm.
even when you think they've crossed the line or
Oh, yeah.
misbehave. She'll defend them.
So you're the strict.
She'll make an excuse. She'll make an excuse.
I don't know if it's excuse or we just see differently.
Yeah.
It's her babies. It's her baby. That's the
Oh,
thing. My
my
wife
God.
can be very like, she can crawl, like she could be super strong with them. But if I get to a certain point, she'll be like, no. And that's the only time where I'm like, okay,
Do you guys all carry firearms?
No.
You do?
Yeah.
You do?
not legally, but yes.
You do? But you don't care. You never felt the need to carry one? I
Don't-
haven't either.
I don't even own one.
Right here.
I have
I
them, but
carry
they're in a
2
gun
guns.
safe, and I've never carried them actively. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right here.
Yeah, but I've never felt there's never been once, except for that one time I just told you about in the elevator, where I felt like, ugh, you know what I'm saying? In my whole life, I've never felt, like I wished I had my gun with me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm actually like, I'm glad I didn't have a gun with me because
My American Express. He's like my American.
I'm glad I didn't have this gun with me because I would have killed somebody tonight. So it's a good thing for me.
But it for me, I think of it in aspects of I carry it hoping to never have to use it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
But it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
for sure. And I think it also plays in factor, like, the state we live in, like, and especially with the law that passed last July, like,
What was that?
where you don't even need a concealed carry.
Yeah.
You don't need a permit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little more lenient when it comes to the Second Amendment stuff. Yeah, yeah,
But I definitely, like,
That's that FO law. I mean, you know what I mean?
no, I mean, I don't know. I know that the guys that carry always think that way. They're always like, nah, I'd just rather have it than not have it. And I'm always like, I've never thought about it. It's never popped into my mind. I've never thought. I can't think of one time I was like, I wish I had my gun.
No, yeah. I don't think I could be lying to myself, but I don't feel like it's like a security blanket for me.
Right.
I just feel like it's one of those, better to have and not need it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you, and this might sound morbid or however you want to visualize, but I can't tell you how many times I've visualized different scenarios of somebody trying to take you out.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you carry it. Listen, I'm all for everybody carrying. Yeah, please carry. And please shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah.
They're coming to get me. I know they are. Yeah.
I think about having one for the house.
I think we did a podcast on this.
Yeah. Shoot first.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out later.
Later,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll help you
We'll
with the lawyer costs.
Let the bodies
Let Andrew
hit the
Bain
floor.
defend you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Andrew, we need a lawyer. Please help.
Andrew, help us out.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if somebody did pop up? That's happened a lot of times. A lot of churches.
Listen, it's not impossible. It's
Yeah.
not
No, it's happened, man. It's
in this
happened.
day and age anymore.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I read about a case in Texas like 4 or 5 years ago where the guy came in with a gun, stood up in the service. The security guy that the church had was just a member, you know what I'm saying, like a former cop or former FBI guy. And he knew something was off. And this guy stood up, pulled out a rifle to shoot the pastor from the pews. And the guy shot him, dropped him like
I think I remember.
from 18
Yeah.
feet, dropped him and just
Yeah.
like, boom, done. Right in front of the whole dang church.
I mean, I could see it. Like, you put my business out on the podcast.
Well, let's not share this. one.
or give people ideas.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah, exactly.
No, don't come in this church. I'm telling you.
No,
right
that's
now.
that's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
Ill-advised.
Yeah, no, way too many guns up in this.
Forewarning, you come in here, you're leaving like Swiss cheese.
Well, no, way too many guns up in this place. Yeah. One day, last story before I go. One day, this is a funny story, but this member will remain nameless. Was here, and remember, I mean, okay, I don't know if I should tell this on there.
Yeah, yeah, tell it.
If you get offended here, you'll just end up in one of Penske's books. That's all.
Yeah. Don't worry.
I'll go ahead and tell.
Don't worry,
Okay,
I'm
so
backing
this was
you
a
up.
weekend, right? So, it was a weekend, and we were having like events and prep for church, and a member was here, and they had their gun in their purse, and literally just left it, like left the gun, and in the purse, like left their purse and went out somewhere,
Oh,
like
yeah.
out to lunch or out to.
Wow.
with the Home Depot to get something, and there's all these people, right?
That's irresponsible.
You know what I'm saying? And people, usually people have their kids here and all that kind of stuff. And this person's calling me like, "Are you at the church?" And I'm like, "No." And I just stepped out, and they're like, "I gotta get back. My gun's in my purse." I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Oh my God." Could you imagine? Like,
If a kid finds it, it's like, oh, what is this? Oh,
so you got to be careful. You got to be careful. That's the problem with that's the problem with being armed and dangerous. You know what I'm saying? God bless you. All right. I don't know if we solved anything, but as far as we can go for today, love you, mean it. Peace.
peace.